This is the one and only TQuest. You are tuned into the TQuest show. Relatable, informative, yet entertaining. You guys know how I love to start my show, giving a special shout out to my listeners. Without you guys, I wouldn't have a platform to be on because there would be nobody listening. So I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And if you are new to the TQuest show, make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at TQuestGLM. Download the TQuest mobile app in your Google Play Store and your App Store. Make sure you sign up for my mailing list on my website, GottaLoveMeWorld.com. And please go stream my music. It is tough out here for music artists. So if you go stream it, maybe one day I can buy myself a bottle of water. The struggle is real. And before we bring on our guest today, you guys know I love to do a mental check. I hope everyone is doing okay. And remember, it is okay to not be okay. Nobody is perfect. Not even Mary Poppins. You know, she's practically perfect in every way, but she's not even perfect. It is okay to not be okay because you are human. And remember the saying, if something is stressing you out or bringing you down, just remember, if it's not going to affect you in 5 years, do not give it more than 5 minutes. Now I'm done acting like Mama Quest and turn back into personality T-Quest. Time to have some fun. I am super excited about today's guests. You know, they've been around for many decades, and in my eyes, they are legends, and they're out here putting out the type of music that warms my heart, especially as the queen of love, okay? So before we bring on our guests, I wanted to actually bring on my special co-host, who is the owner of the #1 travel agency in the world, Whitney's Escapes, and the owner and author of Jayon and Jade. And you guys know she is not a stranger to the show, so let me bring her on, especially since she's the belle and the #1 R&B lover. Ladies and gentlemen, Whitney Lee.
Hey, Quest.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited about being on this show today.
Absolutely, me too. Because, you know, with me, my whole brand is about love, right? Especially when it comes to love music and showing that happiness and positive vibes and positive energy. That's what I'm all about. And especially with you, with R&B being your favorite genre.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
To be my favorite, my co-host for today. So without further ado, I think we should just bring on our guest.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the Whispers. Hello, how are you?
Oh, we're doing great. How are you guys doing?
Very good, very good.
I'm amazing, like every day of my life. Sometimes I feel like I'm like an animated character because I can't stop smiling.
Yeah, you know? Nothing wrong with that.
That's just me, you know. Every day above ground is a blessing, and that alone is the reason to smile. That's just my mentality, okay? So, like I said in the beginning of my show, I would like to do a mental check, make sure everyone is good. And let's start off by asking you guys, how are you doing during this whole COVID and pandemic?
Well, we're doing about as well as we can do, like most people. We're keeping what they say, social distance, and wearing the mask. You know, we live in California, so depending on where you go in this country, you'll see masks in some states and some not. But out here in California, everybody wears a mask. So, and that helps a great deal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's kind of weird that our whole world has changed. You know, I tell people you might as well stop worried about the past and just adjust to the new norm. Even though it kind of freaked me out, kind of like the Twilight Zone, seeing everyone in masks and everything. You know, but if it's going to help us get through whatever is going on, then my God, let's do it. The sad part is a lot of people is not taking it very serious as if it's not real. And in my mind, I just believe it's because it hasn't hit close to home for many of them. So they're still going out without their mask. So my question for you guys, has it hit close to home to you guys due to COVID?
Oh yeah, I have lost friends and some relatives due to COVID. So it's very real to me. There's no question about it.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Lavelle and Scotty can give you their rendition too.
Yeah, no, I mean, Walter's right. I mean, you know, I haven't had any family members directly from me, but I've had friends that have actually passed based on the COVID, and so I mean, it's real as all get out. it's just tough times right now because being entertainers, you love to be in front of your audience. And it's been now since February. I think our last gig was in February of this year that we were in front of our audience. And it looks like we're hoping to get back to work in the middle part of next year. But it may not be until 2022. So it's like anybody else. You're going stir crazy, because we're not essential workers. So, we're the last ones to go to work because we just entertainment. So people, I'll be honest with you, sometimes, most of the time people tell me music is a healing thing, but we just can't do what we like to do anymore. So it's kind of getting used to being home. I've never seen the walls of my house this much ever in my life. Luckily, I love my wife because otherwise we probably be divorced too. My best friend. So it's been good. It's been, we have to look at the cup half full instead of half empty,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've heard about a lot of people. I'm like, well, if you don't like your spouse or significant other, I feel so sorry for you during this COVID situation. Absolutely. Okay, so I love the new track, but before we go into the track, I like to bring it back a little bit. But if you guys bring it a little bit all the way back to grade school, right? Let's see if you guys can remember this. There was an assignment that we all had. When I grow up, I want to be. What did you guys actually put down back then?
Well, I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be a Learjet pilot.
Okay.
And, I wanted to fly VIPs all around the world, and that's what I really wanted to do. I started that project, and then I ended up becoming a professional helicopter pilot with a commercial and instrument rating. So, and when I wasn't singing with the Whispers, not to their liking, I was flying helicopters for a well-known company here in Las Vegas, and and I did that. It's kind of one of my passions, just like singing is. So that's what I did. I got kind of two careers. Unfortunately, even with the COVID, I was doing tours to the Grand Canyon, taking people back and forth to Grand Canyon. But now with social distancing, you can't get 7 people in a helicopter and maintain social distancing. So that's kind of dried up as well. So both passions in my life are kind of like taken away because of this COVID.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is you were able to still live out your childhood dream.
Yeah.
The positive part of it.
Exactly.
You put in so much work for decades. This is just God letting you know it's your time to rest.
Is that what it is? Exactly right. My father used to always say, "I'll rest when I'm dead," and I ain't planning on going any place for a while, so that's why I'm staying close to the house.
Absolutely. This is the overdue rest that they said a lot of us needed.
Yeah, reconnecting with each other. I think that's important.
Exactly.
Okay, Scotty and Walter.
Well, with me, when I was asked that question when I was younger, I said a lawyer. But as I got older, I really wish I would have become a history teacher. I love history.
Yeah.
I just think history is a way of keeping in touch with what's going on in the world. If you can say where you've been, then you have just great knowledge of where you're going.
Absolutely.
And that's what history does. It tells us what they were doing. Like this song we got, the question is how long? And the history of that song goes back, you guys are too young to know, but we've asked this question many, many years ago. How long are we going to have to continue to put up with what we're seeing happening now? Because we saw it before you guys were born. This same thing was happening. But I don't want to get into that too much, but that's history. That's why I like it so much.
Absolutely. Now, if you were going to become a history teacher, were you going to stay on the topics that the school are forced to tell us, or are we going to add in the history that they don't actually
the real history? Yeah.
No, the real history. I would know specifically. It would be the history of Black people.
Okay.
I think the trail that we've marched on is something that the whole world needs to know about. I think that they need to know how we got here and what happened when we got here and what's happening now that we're still here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And Scotty?
Well, I can actually say I'm very lucky. I remember as a kid, my parents used to say, "You're very lucky," because I knew early what I actually wanted to be, and I'm doing what I've always wanted to do all of my life, which was entertainment, and I
Mm,
did that at the age of 5. How I knew it, and I was stunned because I didn't realize back then. And my parents would say, "You're lucky because most people they don't really realize what they want to do until they get to midlife." I mean, me and my brother both have been singing since we started at about 3, and I can remember from 5 years and up. That's all I ever wanted to do, and I was lucky enough to just do that. So that's a real easy one for me because I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do as a kid.
That's
good
great.
job. And look at that. Winnie Escapes, do you have any questions? You can ask now. I'll be back in one moment, okay?
Sure. Out of all your wonderful songs, which I love, which ones are your favorite?
Wow,
Well,
you
you
get
probably
all
know
kinds of different answers on that.
the
Yeah,
next.
Scotty.
Well, my favorite, is and the beat goes on, which happens to be the biggest song that we've ever had, and uh, and the reason why it's my favorite because it's a song that basically changed our lives. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a whole other show right there, but I can say that much. So I always go back and sort of pay tribute to that because once we did and the beat goes on, life changed for us.
Yeah.
And so that without a doubt, that's my favorite.
And my favorite would probably be it would be Butter, and it was written by a young lady by the name of Tina Marie who passed a while ago. It's funny. I like the song. It's a great song, but Nicholas Caldwell made me love that song even more by his incredible choreography, and he did a routine on that song that had a little Fred Astaire in it and a little R&B moves in it and everything. So it's kind of one of my favorite things too, because I enjoyed so much doing all of the choreography with him because I felt like we were one of the most unique groups in terms of choreography. So Butter would be my favorite based on not only the song, but a lot based on the choreography of it.
Dance move. And Walter?
Well, my favorite song is a song called "A Song for Donnie." You guys are young, but I know you know who Donnie Hathaway is.
Mm-hmm.
And years ago, we did a song paying tribute to Donnie Hathaway because he made such an impression on us. And what we ended up doing, we ended up creating a scholarship, and we gave away quite a few scholarships. This has been like over 20, maybe 25 years ago.
Yeah.
We gave away scholarships in the name of Donnie Hathaway, but the song is simply called "A Song for Donnie," and that's definitely one of my favorites.
Oh, 3 different answers. I'm shocked. People were, oh, it's just the same one. But you have a beautiful catalog and lovely love songs. And I feel like in today's era, that's something that we're missing. We don't have the organic love songs where we can bring people together. That's one reason I do like your new single that came out because it's the message in there is very important with what's going on in the world today. My question is before we get into it, because I know Quest probably has a lot of questions about your new album single. Is that going to be like on an album that has like similar songs like that, or is going to have some like more stuff with your roots?
No, this song really was put out to really capture what's happening at the present.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, before we did this song, we were in the process of coming with a new song that deals with what you just talked about. You're R&B enthusiast. I'm so glad because that's
Yeah.
what we do. We are straight ahead R&B artists. Never made no bones about it. And we were in the process of doing a regular R&B song, which would have basically dealt with what we think our style is, and that is complimenting the ladies, showing respect for our ladies, and talking about romance.
Something
But
we need.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't never get enough of that.
Mhm.
But in the midst of all of that, you guys, we were all at home watching television that day when George Floyd had that knee on his neck, and
Mm-hmm.
it moved us to move the project back. we said, well, we're gonna stop this. We need a song that deals with what's going on in our country right now. And so that's how the song "How Long" came about.
That makes sense. But I still be waiting for that new other song because
it's coming. It's coming.
Because we need it. I don't listen to
I
even listen to my radio anymore. All I listen to is Pandora because I can pick the genre of music I want to listen to in my car. Because the new stuff, like you said, it doesn't bring love and joy and respecting women in a different level. We don't see that anymore. We don't hear it anymore. So it's important that, I'm a mom of 2 small children. So when they hear music, I would like them to hear things that I heard because of my parents, like the Whispers, you know what I'm saying? Anita Baker. They still hear y'all because it's on my playlist, but it'll be good to, have some more modern stuff. So they're like, we hear that 100 times, mommy. But, to get some new projects out there.
So you're a rare commodity, you know that, because you look like you're a teenager already. So, but most young ladies don't think that way. They don't mind being called. That's my shawty. I don't even know what that is. Or I want to. I'm like other songs says I want to ride you like I ride my Jeep. To me that is not giving any kind of respect to our ladies today. So ladies want to be made love to. They want to be romanced, and that's what we've always been about, and that's what we're always going to be about. So it's just wonderful to hear young ladies like yourself, and I really emphasize young that that actually feel that way. That's just a pleasant surprise, really.
Yeah, so I listen to is old school. I don't know any modern music really. And TQuest knows that. She's like, you don't know any modern music. I said, because it doesn't move me. I want something that's going to move me. I'm very lyrical listener. So I listen to the lyrics before I say I like a song. I don't just go off the beat. And if I feel like it doesn't pertain to my life or make me feel good, I'm not going to entertain it. And that's one reason why I do love the older artists, because every one of you guys and all your music always had a message, and it was always positive. And like you said, it talks about love and romance. I'm a female, so I'm a helpless romantic. So my husband, no, he has your album and a couple of other people who we're not interviewing, because he knows, let me play this. He knows I like old school stuff. So but that's what he plays. When I know, he's like, let me put something she gonna like. And it's always older music, because that's just, it moves me and it touches, my heart and my soul. And I think that's what's one thing that's wrong with our community, and the message that you have in your new song is love. So I really.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
Yeah. After all is said and done, it all comes back to love. If when you ask the question of how long, and I think in the lyrics says the answer is love, because if we can get along, like Rodney King said, how come we can't get along? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would be such a different world if we could all get along and just, kind of love each other a little bit more. The younger generation, though, they are more graphic. They bring it down, as my grandson does say, on Front Street. They want it to be like it really is. And I mean, I understand that. But like you said, if you're singing a song and there's no story, there's no message, it's kind of empty. You know what I'm saying? And so the good thing about R&B music in general, that's what R&B music is about. It's about a message. It's about showing respect. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why we're here for generations. If we hadn't been singing R&B, we wouldn't be here.
Right. Yeah. And love is everlasting. So love is a great topic that can go on for generation after generation after generation after generation. And it's important to keep that, because like you're in your new song. That's why one thing I loved about it is like all you need is, it's really true. That's all we really need. If we just love a little bit more and treat people with kindness, we won't be in a situation that we are in today.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm just loving all of this love today. Because like I stated in the beginning of the interview, and all my fans know, my whole brand is about love. It's called Gotta Love Me. And I'm also the manager of the R&B division for my DJ coalition. So when they sing me songs, I'm like, what is this? No. I need a message. I want to feel the love, even if it's not always perfect love, happy love, sad love, when you either falling in love or going through a breakup. we are all going through the evolution of love. So that's what we need to hear in the music. You know, I want you to feel what you felt when you had your heart broken. You know, I want to feel emotional and I want to feel that through your words. Even nowadays, a lot of people are in the genre of R&B because they think they look pretty, or they can carry half a tune. So that should be good enough. And now with technology, anybody can do anything. And I'm like, no, you know, and as like a DJ or a radio personality, it's up to us to really put the music out there to the masses. And that's I'm always very particular what music I personally put out there. You know, and that's why I love your music. And every time you hear music, which is hashtag timeless and classic, it would never get old for generation to generation. You know, and I think what's happening with today, music has to evolve, and there's nothing wrong with that. But where it's evolving to is the scary part when it comes to music, especially at such a sensitive genre like R&B. You know, that's why I love when some of the older cats are coming back out and still putting out incredible music, and it's up to us to keep it in rotation. Like, look, this is what you need to be listening to. This is what you need to be vibing to. This is where you need to get your inspiration from. You know. And as you can tell, the people love the music. And then again, a lot of my listeners are DJs and they play your music all the time. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be inboxing me about the new song. Like, can we have it? I'm like, I'll think about it. No, and let them have it. So I think it would be the perfect time to get into the new song. But before we do that, you already went through the whole concept of the song, but let's talk about the actual video. Of course, you had to film it during this pandemic and have the word a mask here and there. Like, how was that versus when you used to do music videos?
Oh man, that was. Go ahead, Scotty.
Walt said it earlier. Believe it or not, you guys are probably too young to know or maybe even to remember. But we had a song back in the '60s. It was called "Seems Like I Gotta Do Wrong Before They Notice Me," and that song dealt with the exact same thing that we're dealing with today. And simply put, the way I put it is that mistreating black people. We were being mistreated way back then, and that was maybe the mid '60s. But here we are 20, 30 years later, and the same crap is going on. And it's getting late here now. We're tired of being treated. You got police brutality. You got everything that we've seen. This is not the first time we've seen this. So when this came along, we said, oh, here we go again. So what we're trying to say is that whatever we can do to make whoever it is understand that we're human just like you, and it's time for this crap to stop. So, and the young lady just said it, even in this song, we're saying if you just love instead of kill, I mean, you're putting your knee in somebody's neck. There's nothing love about that. I mean, so that's what we're really talking about. And hopefully when you listen to this song, you'll see how long, and you'll answer the question, how long are we going to go through this?
Absolutely.
In answer to your question, though, it was a lot of creative things that we had to do to do this video. And in fact, it was a creative thing to even do the song itself, because I live in Vegas and the twins live in LA. And at the time of recording this song, we were all supposed to, you got to come together to do the vocals. And that was, they said, well, Lavelle, we're going to put you on a plane and bring you down from Vegas. I said, you're not putting me on a plane. I got a perfectly good car out there that I could ride by myself and maintain my own social distancing. And so I drove down and got there. We actually recorded the song in Scotty's garage. And so Scotty would go out, he'd have his mask on, because we maintained social distancing amongst one another. We wore a mask. He would go out in the garage, take off his mask, do his part. He'd come back in. Walter would go out there, take off his mask, do his part. Then I would go out and take off my mask and do my part. And the same way with the video. I shot all of my video scenes here in Vegas. And they shot all their video scenes in LA. And we have a guy by the name of David Magic Mendez, who actually wrote the song and produced the song, actually helped put all those pieces of that machinery together so that you could see the so you could view the video that you have today. So it was work, but like now with all of internet and all the technology, man, it's just unbelievable what you can do today. So that's how that video came together. We weren't even, I think the twins might have been together, but they had to maintain some social distancing. But I shot all my stuff here in Vegas and sent them to him, and he spliced it all together. What you see today is what we got. Yeah,
absolutely. Safety first.
Safety first.
Scotty, you made a great point earlier when you were mentioning how, this been going on, it's getting old now, and when people are going to finally realize we're human like them. That just reminded me, I literally just came back from a trip. I went to literally yesterday. I got in yesterday morning. I was in Grenada for vacation, and I spoke to one of the police officers out there because I noticed they didn't have any guns. And he said, yeah, we don't carry guns because we don't kill our people.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah. The crime rate is like less than 1%. They don't have any COVID cases in Grenada. But I thought that was like wow, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
When you said that earlier, when they're gonna realize we're human, it's because, and that remind me what that guy said. Like, unfortunately, in America, they don't look at us as their people.
No,
because the guy said we don't kill our people, and here we're not their people. And that's the sad thing about it. And that's what makes it so prevalent in your song when you said love is the answer. Because if you feel like somebody, if you love somebody, you're going to feel like they're your people.
Yeah. But
horrible things to them.
Yeah. You said something else earlier, that just a phrase. You said, if you treat people the way you want to be treated, we'll have love. That's what this song about. If you treat somebody the way you want to be treated, then it ain't about, I don't like you because you black, or I don't like you because that goes out the window.
Exactly.
And we've been singing about that for 50 years, because it sounds simple, but love is definitely the answer. Like you go to Grenada, and I know you had to say, what are you talking about when you say they don't carry no guns? Can you imagine this country walking up on a policeman with no gun? You'd look at him like he was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because now they got better guns. And people here got better guns than the police department.
Absolutely.
So it is a problem for them. So I understand why they got to carry, because the guys they come at, or they pull over, could have an AK-47 because it's so easy to get that kind of weapon for them. So I understand why we have it here, but I don't think you're gonna, I don't think it's something that's gonna be fixed overnight. With 72 million people that voted for Donald Trump, that have all this hatred in their heart, and still going strong at this time, it's gonna be a while before we get back to anything that's normal, where people are not looking at to kill one another. If you have a Biden sticker on the back of your truck, people want, you would not believe the stuff that goes on in Vegas. If you have not the right sticker on your car, how people, will come by and give you the finger, or say something crazy to you. When has that ever happened in any kind of election that I've ever seen? And I've been here much longer than you young ladies. I've never seen this kind of hatred. So I don't know how we're going to get around it. I really don't. Like Walt said, we all feel like love will do it. But, if everybody's not feeling the love, then, you got 72 million people that want to, that don't believe any of this stuff, don't believe the coronavirus is existing, don't fake news and all this kind of crap. So I just, I'm hoping and praying every day that we can get back to some sort of normal life, but I don't see it coming soon.
That makes your music video and your new singles even more important and prevalent with what's going on, because sharing that message that is in your video, how long, the answer is love, so people can know that this is what we need. It's been going on for this many years, but at least it's a newer version for maybe the younger generation to hear it fresh, and maybe it will change some of these people's perspective, or at least make them start thinking.
Yeah, never stop trying.
Never stop trying.
Yeah, right. You gotta continue. And it's hard too, because you can get discouraged. And I saw a young lady just yesterday on television. This lady, white lady, walked up to a couple in her neighborhood on their porch and asked them why were they in her neighborhood and they lived there. Can you imagine that? She asked them, why are you living here? I mean, that's what it's come to.
That's what it's come to. Yeah.
It's interesting how and I don't want to dwell too much on it, but we can't be oblivious to what's happening in life with those particular red hats. Let's make America great again. When was it actually great, and who are you referring to? Who was it great for?
America's always been great. You're gonna make it great again, but it was already great.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm trying to think back, when were we actually respected as human beings? And it's a generational thing. And for one of us to break it, we have to break that generational curse. But so all those Trump followers is something that they've learned from their parents and their parents, all that hatred and stuff. Because when we come into this into this world, babies are innocent. They don't know anything.
Yeah, that's right.
You gotta be taught. Right.
Exactly. Everything is taught. So in order that we have to break that, but it's one thing I know my parents always told me is that treat people the way you want to be treated. And remember, you're only responsible for your actions. You can't save the world, but as long as you do your part,
do your part.
Others do the same, and maybe they'll catch on. Like me personally, yes, I'm in entertainment. Yes, I do music. Yes, I do all this stuff in the media. But I'm a type of person, I don't use profanity. I've never have, even in my everyday language. And people be looking at me like, how do you get through your days? I'm like, what do you mean?
I need to talk to you too about that, because
you need to. That's really different. I'm just the opposite of them.
It's just so easy. You even come to a music, my stuff is already radio edited because I don't have to change anything. They're like, so what do you do if you get hurt? I'm like, I say ouch if I get hurt. What do you mean?
Well, you have to use the word ouch and God knows when.
It's funny, that's so true. People who don't swear, don't drink, don't smoke, they always get judged so quickly. Like, I don't drink as much or swear. Me and Quest are sisters. And people always like, how do you not? I'm like, why are you judging me? I don't judge you for what you're doing, but it's not the norm. And I'm like, well, technically until you was 21, you wasn't doing any of these things either. I just wish not to continue to do it. But it's funny how people always look at you like you're weird. Like, what? How can you get through life without drinking? Or aren't you stressed? Or why don't you swear on people? I'm like, when there's a pattern of you not doing it, it's just something that you don't do.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
It goes back to, or part of it goes back to your upbringing.
Yeah.
No question.
Generational curse. If your parents are racist, most likely to a certain degree, you may be too, because that's what they taught you. Like certain animals and dogs, you train them to be well behaved, or you train on the owners and the parents. But at the end of the day, what's happening in life, like you said, it's not going to be overnight. But when it comes to men like yourself, or me and any positive people in this world, I say it may be a dim world, but I will bring the light.
Amen. Keep it positive. I like that.
Absolutely. So, I think this is the perfect time to get into the track. How long? Sounds good?
Sounds great to me.
All right.
Yeah.
It's time for change.
How long will we argue? How long will we fight? When will we have the unity to change the wrong to right? Don't you know love is the answer to all our misery? Won't you take my hand today? Tomorrow we'll be free. Will we take to paradise and On the other side of your reality, where the wind and blow of the sea, and the universe is for all to see. I'm for freedom, I'm for the light. How long go on? We're always in the fight, and don't you know love is the answer to all our misery. Won't you take my hand today? Tomorrow we'll be free. Will it take to find ourselves free? Be strong for the best to play, for the best to play. Because the life of the earth is reality. Where the wind and the free, and the universe is won't you take my hand today? Oh, how long will we fight? And how long will we hate? We must see the lights before it's too late.
Well, it sounds like what we've been talking about, huh?
Exactly. How long? Love is the answer.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you.
That's why it's really important for artists to of your caliber and newer artists to really put songs out there that's positive, because music moves people, music affects people, and everybody listens to some form of music. And having more positive music out there, hopefully it can stream into the reality of today. If more people hearing about love, more people talking about love, maybe we'll see more love than all the other things that we are portraying and seeing today.
You know, as I was listening to the song, I have to tell both of you two young ladies how much we appreciate you giving us this platform, because you've given us an opportunity to get to people younger than us who really don't. Some of them, like the young lady said earlier, don't really even know who we are, and we just don't take this for granted. We really appreciate the fact that you're introducing us to some areas that we couldn't have got in. And I just want to thank both of y'all. We really do appreciate that.
Well, you have great music, so we usually give people great stuff, because nowadays it's not that great out there.
There's some crazy stuff going on, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on. And as a radio personality and a DJ, I'm like, when it comes time for me to like critique songs, right? I'm like, it doesn't matter how old you are, what race you are, how long you've been in the game, whether you major or independent. In that moment, it is just my job just to critique the song for what it is. And then sometimes when I interview certain celebrities, they may feel uptight if they ask you my opinion. I'm like, I get it. You've been out here for a while. You have a lot of fans, but this song ain't cutting it, okay? And they may feel some type of way. I'm like, but this is what you came for. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion as a personality, as someone that play music, and as a consumer. And in all three, it ain't cutting it. But
you tell them straight out, huh?
I want to be honest with me. You know, but when it comes to your music and your catalog, no matter what hit single you guys have out there from back then until today, the song itself, even if it wasn't you guys, is incredible. You know, and it's a type of song that we need today. I literally just said this to a young lady yesterday. She has a song called Self Care that she just put out. And I'm like, what I love about it is you have a beautiful message that needs to meet the masses and put out there. At the same time, it's a beautiful track, well put together. The harmonies is perfect. The writing, everything was just incredible. And that's the way it should be. Some people's like, well, they have a great message. I'm like, but your song ain't hot. So I understand, but it cannot be in rotation. And this song, it has a great message. It's what's going on, well, forever, but even more now. And it's one of the songs that we have to keep in rotation. We have to put in people's mind because we've been preaching the same thing, especially in our culture, that all we're looking for is acceptance. We just want to be loved and respected. You know what I mean? We only have one life.
That's right.
So every day.
Right. That's
So
right.
if we're not getting it back, you know, allow us to enjoy this blessing and opportunity to be here. I shouldn't have to go outside and feel uncomfortable. I shouldn't have to be driving down the street and then I see the patriotic lights and my heart skip a beat, not knowing if I'm going to get pulled over or something. And even though I didn't do nothing wrong, I automatically feel guilty. You know how uncomfortable that is.
Oh, we've been there.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you,
it happens to male and female. I tell people that all the time. It's just because of your skin, it still happens to you. If you're a male or a female, you get harassed, you get pulled over, you get, sexually assaulted. So many different things that happen to our race that is not right. But what I wanted to say to you guys, Whispers, is that one thing I really appreciate about the song, besides the message, is that you guys are still singing. It's not like you have auto tune or you're trying to be the newer hip hop music. It's not, you're authentically yourself with a message and a beautiful song. And I just want to say I appreciate that because a lot of times people come in, even new artists, they want to do what they think is hot and not just do what's comfortable with them and show their natural talent. In this song, you have a great message, but it's still authentically the Whisper. So you still have your melodies. You guys are singing really lovely on there. There's not no auto tune or anything to make it sound something else. So I just really wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate that. That really comes from the generation that we come from. We didn't have the drum machine. And, like you said, I mean, they got a vocoder that actually you can sing into. We didn't come from that. Here we are 50 years later singing in the same key that we started in. The most important thing is like what I gotta pronounce this right. It's TQuest.
Yeah.
I got that right? TQuest. I love what you said. You said I love it, but it ain't hot. And you know what that's called? That's called being honest and straight up, being truthful. Mm-hmm. And what you like more than anything, I know when I see an artist, the first thing I look for is that really them? Are they trying to be something that they're not, or is that really them? Mm-hmm. And in 9 times out of 10, if that's really them, you're gonna get something good because they're being themselves. Mm-hmm. Never try to be something that you're not. That's right. The Whispers can't come out here and try to act like they 20 years younger. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be talking to us today if you really thought that we were trying to be like you.
That's a fact.
You're talking to us today because we're who we are.
Yeah, I can't.
So keep doing what you're doing, TQuest.
Uncle Jimmy and a throwback, they ain't gonna work.
That's a new one on me. I gotta put that in my archives.
Oh, I love it.
Uncle Jimmy and the throwbacks.
It's so true. You do have an uncle like that. Every time we go down south, because our family is from the Carolinas, he be coming through, what's up, girl, TQuest? I'm like, why are you like that? What are you doing?
Like, I know exactly who you're talking about. That's how bad it is. I know exactly who she's talking about, and it gets on my last nerves too. I don't even talk. The funny part about it is we don't even talk like that. So I would even come like, yo, what's up, son? Like, I don't even talk like
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was into that song early on the radio, Olivia. That was on the radio earlier.
Of course.
Yeah, you know, the song started off with Scotty's granddaughter. You know who says it's time for change?
Mm-hmm.
That's Scotty's 3-year-old granddaughter. She said that for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put the family in there, because let the world know, like that's
Yeah.
not about
Yeah, she's loving it. She's loving it.
Yeah, she's loving it, boy. She saw herself on that video, man. She said, "Oh man, I'm a star."
Yes, she is.
Still celebrating.
I noticed on your feed though that people are asking where. I guess they don't know where to get this, and I want to kind of let them know that they can download this on iTunes, CD Baby, Amazon, YouTube. Let's see what else. Apple Music and also Google. They can download it on any of those sites, because I'm reading the comments myself, and
Yeah, the comments are out of sight.
so they keep asking where they can get it.
You know the honest truth why they're asking where they can get it at? Because the majority of my original followers on this particular platform, before it goes to the other platforms, 98% of them are DJs. So they're like, is somebody going to send it to us? Is it going to record pool? I'm like, how about you guys do this? Go purchase the song.
Right. Download it.
The song, download the song, and then put it in rotation. Okay?
And you can stay social distancing right at home.
Exactly.
It's interesting because, you know, normally when it comes to, see, they got it. The only reason why I say that is because I'm on both sides of the spectrum. As a media person and as a music artist, I'm like, I spend all this money on this music, and then I just hand it to the DJs for free. And if all my friends are DJs, that means I didn't even make $1 to get me. But talk to your reps and see what's up, because you know I know a lot of them is going to be looking for a DJ service pack, which is normally the song, the acapella and the instrumental, so they can like do some mixes and stuff with it, you know, do their thing. So I talked to your representative and see what we can do about that. But yes, go purchase the music. Download the music, stream the music, watch the video on YouTube, because now we can monetize from it. And let's continue making them little coins so they can actually turn into dollar bills. And we can go from there.
Now we talking.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Either if you've been in the game for 3 days, 3 decades, 100 years, at the end of the day, we still need that extra coin. You know,
Gotta eat.
Gotta eat.
That's right. You got to.
It's hard for everybody out here. Even in my industry, I have my own travel company, and it's hard for all of us out here because it's a pandemic. And if most people are home or homebound, how can they do anything else? You're not even allowed to go out. You're not allowed to gather. So many different things that happens to everybody. And I tell people, even though someone might look like everything is good, doesn't mean everything is good, you know, because this hit the whole world. It didn't just hit one part of the world. Everyone has been affected by this in a huge way. To support when you can on iTunes or Apple Music. A single is not that expensive. It might be $2. You guys can pull together $2 something, or maybe $5. I don't know. Last time was going $2.
Max $129, but I like your style. Let's hike it up to $2.
Yeah. Well, all of them are. I just downloaded a song recently, and it was like $199, and it was like an older song. So I downloaded it. So just in case, I realized when I do travel sometimes, the other countries, I have to go to YouTube. So I'm just going to download all the songs I want to listen to, and have it on my Apple Music. And then some of them were like $2. So less than $2. Okay, guys. I know you can afford to get it on. Let's spread this.
Whitney, let me ask you. You as a travel person, what are they telling you about when people are going to be able to travel in 2021? Are we looking at the whole year or 6 months or what?
Well, everybody could, like, I just got back literally yesterday. I literally got back yesterday.
I heard you say you just got back, so you got.
Then my face is breaking out because I got tan, so like I'm gonna look like polka dot. Oh my God, tomorrow I'll look like blotches all over, but it's okay. But you can travel. It's just now there's new regulations. Like when I went to Grenada, just got back yesterday. I had to do a COVID test. Negative COVID test was in 7 days. I had to fill out different affidavits. When I got there, they did their own health screening. So you just have to do extra steps when you travel. When I was in Turks, I had to actually it was less days. Your COVID test was like within 5 days, but we had to submit all the information to their travel authorities. And then they had to give us a slip that said we can come in the country within this time period. But one thing about Grenada that was different from Turks was that you had to stay at whatever property for at least 4 days. And if you want to go into their community, you had to do another COVID test that they give you. And then when that come back negative, you can then go into their community. But for your first 4 days, you cannot leave the resort. So they don't have any cases over there. And that makes sense. They did not play. When you go up there, they have people sitting in certain places, social distancing.
No cases.
Were adamant. They have no cases.
That's amazing.
Let me ask you this. On the plane, when you got on the plane and was sitting with other people, were they masked? Did they have,
you have to have masks.
Was a seat in between you?
Well, America, but I like flying Delta because in Delta, yes. America, not so much. But everybody did have to have a mask. If you didn't have a mask, they will supply you one. They were going up and down the aisle to make sure everybody has masks on their face. They did give you they didn't do aisle service, but they had a Ziploc that they give you that had a bottle of water, a snack, and some Purell so you can wipe stuff down. But they wasn't really interacting with people. It wasn't so much every other seat. Delta did have every other seat.
That's what I'm interested in. So somebody was sitting beside you?
Well, because I went with my husband, we were right next to each other. So it was we tried to pick the seats that we saw only 2 seats. But when we went, because we now because of the pandemic, they don't have so many direct flights. Even though we flew out of New York, we still had to stop in Miami. But from Miami to Grenada, it wasn't a packed plane, so we really was social distance. They even tell everybody, this plane's not packed. Sit wherever you feel comfortable.
Oh, okay.
But when we was going from New York to Miami, the blessing was they had the 2-seaters. So it was just me and my husband on one part and other people. But they wasn't doing the every other seat. They did it in the airport. But I'm like, why are you doing this in the airport if you're not doing it on the plane? That doesn't make any sense with America. Wow. Delta definitely did that. They're not packing their planes. And also the properties, I stayed at Sandals in Grenada, they're only at 30% capacity. So they're not packing out their resource. Most of all places that I have been traveling to, they're not packing. They're only at 30. Max, I think, that I went to was 35%. They're not overpopulating their property. So I felt very comfortable there. I was able to walk around. I didn't have to have my mask. When you walked in restaurants, of course, you want to be respectful, putting your mask because you're talking to the hostess and stuff like that. But everything was really, very pleasantly surprised, and it was good because you kind of had that mental break. I'm not suffocating. I'm with people, but nobody's on top of me.
Yeah.
So, it was a great experience. I travel every other month. I give myself a month to just be home.
Oh man, you're great.
Yeah, well, really I can't tell people to travel if I'm not traveling, so I can't expect somebody to come to me.
Man, we haven't flown since February of this year.
Yeah,
that's the last time we were on a plane.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping it come June of 21, the vaccine or something. We want to get to our audience and have some shows. Can you imagine what it's like to do a concert?
Yeah. But when you go internationally, one good thing about the international travel is that everybody has to have the COVID test. You can't go on to, when you get to the airport, they wanted to see where's your COVID test. They're checking the date, they're checking the authenticity to make sure it's nothing crazy. So most of the people that you're actually traveling with had the COVID test within a couple of days. So everybody, and then they're also taking your temperature, Purell, and they have so many stations. So you feel more comfortable. I felt more comfortable traveling than I do at the grocery store because I don't know if people have been around, because they're not required to take the COVID test. Yeah. I know I was negative. I don't know if you're negative or not. And I don't know if you feel it. So you feel more comfortable because the measures that you have to go through, and everybody's going to the same location and had to go through those same type of measures.
Well, here in Vegas, nothing's going the way that you're talking about.
Once again, in the United States.
Good old USA.
Our governor just got tested positive for coronavirus, and he's He's at the point now that he's getting ready to shut the city down again, even though the city has been mostly shut down right now. Most of the hotels here are at like 14% capacities, but even that's going to go away right now because our cases are going crazy here. Cirque du Soleil, who has one of the biggest shows here in Las Vegas, just filed bankruptcy, and so they're in trouble right now. So there's so many things going on here that we're just headed in the wrong direction. So as an entertainer, when I see it going on here in Vegas, which we play all the time when we're working, and it's going the opposite way, I'm like, okay, this doesn't look good. So I understand. In American Airlines, I saw the announcement where they say we're packing our planes again because we're about to go belly up. Because
it's in a high demand. I saw that on the news as well. But I tell everybody it's safer to go out.
What just happened?
Yeah, she froze up for a second.
Froze.
At a weird face, so we're not gonna keep her there with that weird frozen face. So as soon as I see the face change, then we're gonna bring her on back.
That's a girlfriend for you, boy. Taking care of a partner.
Yeah, look it out. Yeah.
Actually, my sister.
Oh, sister. Okay, wonderful.
Great.
Even though she looks 12, she's actually older than I am.
Boy, both of you guys look like,
I don't know what
both of y'all look like you're in grammar school.
She protected you.
I appreciate that, but we're definitely grown. We're grown. It's genetics.
Yeah, boy, I tell you. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I got kicked out.
You both look like teenagers, so
I will accept that. Thank you. I really want to do it.
We're definitely grown. But I understand with the whole entertainment world, because the last time I had a gig was in February too. And they're like, how do you feel? I'm just like, well, if the majority of my money was coming through from performance, how do you think I feel?
Exactly.
On that entrepreneur business mind, like, okay, so what else can I do during this time? Now StreamYard and Zoom has been the best of friends, and I've been hosting a lot of events on there, but it would never be the same like being on a stage or being in a radio station and being with your fans and touching them and seeing how they receive your music. Like feeling is something that I feel like that feeling is kind of like love at first sight. It's enchanting.
Yeah, you're right. There's nothing like that. I mean, you know what? I never thought I'd miss it. We've been doing this for a long time, but you're so right to come on stage and feel that. I mean, because everything is genuine. It's raw. It's real. And when people genuinely like and feel good, it's just a great feeling. So, we haven't had that in about 9 months. And I will admit, I'm dying to get back to the stage. I miss our fans big time. No question about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. But this has been an ultimate pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like Scotty said, let me say this before we get out of here. I want to reiterate, thank you guys for giving us this opportunity. It's so great to sit down with two young, beautiful young ladies that are articulate and teach us something. We've been here a long time. Boy, we learned a lot from them lines, So thanks for having us. We appreciate that, really.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you guys taking the time out. Even though when I end the live, don't leave as of yet, but stay on. But yes, it's been an absolute pleasure being here with my co-host, Whitney of Whitney Escapes, and having the honor and privilege of interviewing the Whispers. And to all my fans out there, you guys know I always cater to you. So make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at TQuestGLM. And once you download your TQuest mobile app in your Google Play Store and your App Store, you know that I'm going to have my guest information all up there, so you know exactly where to follow them on social media, where to purchase their music, download their music, stream their music. And then remember, as tastemakers in the industry, make sure you forever keep it in rotation, because this is the type of music that this world it needs. Many of us been yearning for and praying that it came back, especially mainstream. So we have to make sure we personally push it to the max. Okay, so make sure you guys go listen to How long. And don't just be jamming to the beat like I was the first time I heard it. Make sure you do like Whitney does and pay attention to the lyrics because it's the message that you do not want to miss. Once again, girl TQuest, you're tuned into the TQuest show. Relatable, formative, yet entertaining. I love all you guys.